welcome back. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Stop.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it? The dark side. And the light.
So we're going to talk briefly about Star Wars again, even though we talked about that for like 40 minutes last episode. Luckily, nothing was actually changed with this trailer. It actually told us very little. It just sort of showed us a bunch of images, and that's about it. So
It's true.
that conversation is still good, but we'll just briefly comment on that, and then we're going to move on to Jurassic Park trailer.
Jurassic World.
Oh, Jurassic World. I'm sorry, Mr. Pretentious.
I'm going to call it Jurassic Park when I go see it. Like, I'll have one ticket
You
for
and
Jurassic
everyone
Park.
else, like 95% of people who go see it.
But it's the world.
That's not
What does
true.
that even mean? Is it like Disney World?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, like
Disney
Disney
World.
World
Okay.
and Disneyland.
You know,
Disneyland's
there's
in
that
California.
Megalodon in Disney World.
Yeah.
Anyway, Star Wars.
Jurassic-
Star Wars.
Jurassic Land.
Jurassic.
Okay, so let's just quickly go around and say what we thought of the trailer.
I enjoyed it. You know, you got to see some stuff that was like new to the live action movies, and it was the first Star Wars trailer in like 10 years, so that's super exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, people were really excited about the Phantom Menace trailer, I'm sure,
Well,
when they announced that.
yeah.
Stop having a negative attitude, Mike.
I have to be the Simon Cowell of this panel, okay? Though you're the one with the white undershirt, so maybe you should... Or no, he wore black undershirts. Never mind. I don't watch a lot of American Idol, if you can tell.
Good.
But I thought it was a good trailer. Like, it did what it was supposed to do, and that was supposed to get everyone excited about these new movies.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
wish more trailers were like this. I
Yeah.
don't like trailers that show so much. This trailer showed very little, but still got you like, ooh. There's like just enough to like get you super excited, like seeing the Millennium Falcon, TIE Fighters, and
X-Wings.
X-Wings, whoever the Sith guy is, who just decides to... I think he's cutting down a tree, because he walks out into the middle of the forest. There's generally nothing exciting in front of him, but he decides, now I'm going to pull out my lightsaber. He's cutting down a tree. It's Christmas time.
He's a lumberjack.
Yeah.
So there's Christmas time. Movie comes out in December of
Yeah,
next year.
there you go.
So, it's got that.
Wait, it's not coming out this month? Oh my god.
Oh.
But, well, like, I do agree with you, like, about the whole, like, general trend of trailers showing too much. But this is a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
To sort of get buzz. So, you know, in, like, 6 months, like, probably next summer, there's going to be, like, a full trailer for the movie that's going to show a lot more.
Definitely.
Too much.
Too much, so...
This is one of those trailers that raises more questions than it answers. You know, like, why is that guy a stormtrooper? Most of the stormtroopers, we assume, are clones, right?
Right.
Well, that's a tricky thing, because, like, people assume that because of the prequels, and the prequels were in it.
Well, yeah, also, like...
But also...
But also it was many years after the prequels, and maybe they stopped
It's
cloning. I don't know.
in the extended universe, which is all in the garbage anyway. Basically, it was after the Clone Wars. They threw out all the clones and they just replaced them with normal people.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
I mean, they never explicitly say it at any point in the trilogy because they sort of set up the whole clone thing in the prequels. But
Yeah.
it's we don't see any hint of clones in the later movies, so
Right.
you can assume already by like A New Hope they've replaced all the clones.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it seems to be.
Yeah.
Not that it matters too much.
Yeah.
But It looked cool.
Okay. So what do I think? I think it's doing exactly what it aimed to do, and it's getting everyone talking about it, while also showing nothing.
Right.
We know more about this movie than we did before, except that I don't know, this black guy is a stormtrooper, and there's a lightsaber that everyone complains about. That's all we know.
It had the little
Yeah, it's got
lightsabers
little
on the side.
lightsabers that everyone can't handle, apparently.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't even need to talk about that if you guys don't want to.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I thought it was
For the
cool.
most part, they didn't show any of the old cast or
None of
the
the
old
old cast.
characters.
You see the Millennium Falcon, but that's
You do
about
see
it.
the Millennium Falcon.
which I assumed it was going to be in it. People were like, "Oh, now we know the Millennium Falcon's going to be in it." Of course, it was going to be in it. Like,
Well, the reason why I thought that it wasn't definite that it was going to be in it is because at the end of Return of the Jedi, the Millennium Falcon goes back to Lando. Like, you assume that Han Solo doesn't own the Millennium Falcon anymore. It's back to Lando.
he just lets him borrow it for the mission.
Joyride.
Yeah.
I thought he took it back. I thought it was
No. It's like, well, Han Solo was not using his ship in that movie because he had to go to Endor. So we still need the Millennium Falcon in the movie, but Han Solo couldn't fly it, so we had to give it to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he sort of let him borrow it. And remember, he was saying like, I'll take good care of it. Like, I won't destroy it by the time you get it back, and he didn't. He lost the little antenna thing.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, but he didn't. It didn't explode. So
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
He went right into a
Okay.
trap.
anyway.
But now the Jurassic World trailer.
Okay, so we're done with Star Wars now.
Oh, I don't know. Do you
Okay.
want to?
I'm never done with Star Wars.
Never.
I mean, honestly, that's it though. There's nothing else to talk
Yeah,
about.
it's not much.
Yeah, nothing.
I-
We covered all the other stuff.
I read an article that had like really little details. That
Yeah.
It was like that might be a pod racer in the background when you see the R2 unit on the soccer ball or
Well-
whatever it is,
Ball droid.
the ball droid. And some people, the shot where Daisy Ridley is on whatever vehicle
thing,
she's
yeah.
on, it looks like there's a lightsaber on it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's one of the characters. I'm assuming the Black Stormtrooper guy's one of the characters.
Yeah. The
Like,
X-wing
And then
pilot
the X-wing
is
pilot is
another-
Oscar Isaac, right?
Yeah.
So it briefly shows the new characters, but to us, they're not recognizable.
Yeah. That's what I was saying before. The new characters, the Sith guy, the voiceover was Andy Serkis.
Confirmed as Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Even though some people are like, it's definitely Benedict.
Doesn't even sound like him.
Yes.
Well, it's just like a deep voice. So it's like,
Smaug.
oh, we assume it's
But no,
definitely
but he-
Benedict
It sounds like him doing Smaug.
Smaug.
I don't know. I'd have to listen to it again, but yeah, like nothing that jumped out to us. Like I think if they had shown any of the older characters, it would have probably elicited more of a negative response because no one wants to see them really.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them. I don't know.
They're old.
Yeah,
And old people
You're
are gross.
old.
yeah, old ugly.
They're all
people.
wrinkly and yeah.
Yeah, like if it were up to me, I would just have entirely new characters. Which is, if they're focusing on that, that's good.
Yeah.
Break away from
Good.
the existing
Good.
stuff as much as possible. They're gonna throw them in.
Yeah, of course.
It's too late now, and it kind of makes sense to establish a continuity, but
Yeah.
ignore them as much as possible. So
Well,
okay,
they are important in setting up the world post-Empire. So.
yes, yeah. So they'll serve a function, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it won't be all terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, so that's it.
It won't
for
be
Star Wars.
terrible at all. Positive thoughts, Michael.
I'll be positive after I see it.
Rude.
If I set my expectations low, it can only be good.
Oh, I guess so.
You know, that's the lesson we should learn from the prequels is that if you go in assuming you're going to get the same Star Wars, you're going to be disappointed, no matter how good or bad it is.
Well, you'll never get.
No, but that's what people were assuming. They said, "Well, this new Star Wars, George Lucas is making it. Why shouldn't it be the same thing?" People didn't know what to expect, and they were just expecting the same thing, more or less,
Mm-hmm.
and they were severely disappointed on that front. Regardless of whether you like the prequels, you can agree that they're not the same
Oh, no.
as the originals in their tone and their feel.
Of course not.
Trade negotiations.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's move on to Jurassic World.
I'm really proud of you for going on this trip.
You're gonna have so much fun. And remember, if something chases you, run.
We have learned more in the past decade from genetics than a century of digging up bones. A whole new frontier has opened up. We have our first genetically modified hybrid.
You just went and made a new dinosaur?
Probably not a good idea. Almost 40 feet high. Really think she climbed out?
Depends.
On what?
What kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab?
Evacuate the island. She's a highly intelligent animal. She will kill anything that moves.
Oh, God.
So, this movie's been in development hell forever. Mm-hmm. And I know that because I like when I was a kid, Jurassic, the whole series, even the third movie, which now is pretty not great. I mean, I still watch it.
Yeah.
But,
I watched the marathon over the Thanksgiving break. So.
That whole series I loved. And I went to California with my family when I was like 12 or so. Maybe younger.
So what year is this?
I'm 23. Okay. I'm 23. It's 2014. I guess it was like 2003. Something like that. And when we were like on the Universal Backlot tour, and they were like, "This is where they're shooting Jurassic Park 4 coming out soon," and I was like, "Yay!" And now it's like a decade later, and I'm like,
it's still not out.
It's still not here. So this movie's been in development hell for a really long time. And one of the drafts that like they threw out was like
giraffes.
Giraffe world. Drafts. Yeah, drafts. Was about like a human dinosaur hybrid, and they were like, "That's a terrible idea," and threw it out. But in this trailer, they used the word hybrid, and the first time I heard the word hybrid, I was like, "Oh God, no!" Because I remembered hearing that rumor. But apparently, it's just going to be like a dinosaur hybrid. It's super dino.
It's just going to be the weird alien-human hybrid from Alien Resurrection. That's what I'm expecting. It's just going to look terrible and just be, the worst thing ever.
I don't know. Like,
okay. So
we've confirmed like velociraptors in the movie.
There's going to be velociraptors. There's probably going to be a T-Rex.
Well, they didn't show a T-Rex.
They didn't show a T-Rex.
But maybe that's good because I want a T-Rex so
you can assume.
bad.
I'm also assuming that whatever the hybrid is probably going to be similar to a T-Rex.
I don't know. See, now, I remember you and I were discussing the trailer earlier when it first came out, and you said, "Oh, it's probably pretty big, it's 40 feet." But then I watched the trailer another time, and the dinosaur isn't 40 feet tall, the wall is 40 feet tall, and then the guy says to Chris Pratt's character, "Do you really think she climbed it? The wall's 40 feet tall." So I don't think the dinosaur is that big.
So you think it's like a raptor-sized dinosaur?
Maybe a little bigger than a raptor. I don't know, but I don't think it's like giant scale by any means.
I think if they don't throw in a giant T-Rex,
you gotta have a T-Rex.
Yes. Well, I mean, the dinosaur can be 40 feet and still have to climb over a wall.
That's 40 feet. That's not that impressive.
How
it is if you're a dinosaur.
Maybe.
If he has little T-Rex arms, that'd be super
impressive.
Yeah,
really impressive.
Yeah, it's like,
What kind of hybrid? Why would you make a hybrid dinosaur and be like, still give it?
No, it's just it's just more fuel efficient than the other dinosaurs.
Yeah. It's like its arms are even smaller. They're like this little tiny. They're like nipples basically, and then like it's like huge. Its head is like twice the size of its body, and
it just like falls over. Like
it's just like a T-Rex, but just the proportions are even more extreme.
Just extreme T-Rex.
Yeah,
we call it extreme Rex.
Well, like what? Okay, you haven't seen the sequels to Jurassic Park.
No, I watched Jurassic Park virtually for the first time last night.
Yeah, which is weird to me. You also haven't seen.
I was excited for you.
That's another story.
You need to watch more movies, Dan.
Yeah, I just keep watching the same movies over and over again. That's my problem.
Yeah, gotta get some new stuff.
Gotta get out there.
We're gonna create a list for we're gonna make you like a Captain America list. of like all the things.
Oh yeah,
culturally
I'm
relevant.
gonna sleep for 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked it, and if it's anything like that first one, it should be just fine.
Well, that's the thing, because you haven't seen the sequels. Like, there's a general trend with all, sequels. They always get worse the farther you get from the original, with a few exceptions, of course.
Very few exceptions.
Yeah, typically that's the trend. The movies just get worse as they go out, and so the general inclination would be like, well, this one's probably not going to be as good. It's not going to be as good as the original.
Yeah.
It's really like how will it stack up against the second one, which was pretty good.
I like the second one.
Yeah, the second one's fun.
I think people get turned off by the whole like T-Rex in the city.
Yeah.
Godzilla
But that's
type
only
thing.
like 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Most of the movie's on the island and is dealing with,
yeah.
islands related problems.
Vince Vaughn on an island.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that he was in that movie until I watched it again. I'm like, oh god, why is he in this movie? But
Why not?
I don't know. I guess he's fine in it
Spielberg picked him because he liked swingers.
or something.
Is that true?
I believe so. Yes.
Well, there's some sort of offhanded line about he banged chicks in Greenpeace or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't his character, even though he did. There was only like one woman in the entire movie. But anyway,
But if they can like capture that from the first one, that it's just the surrealness of everything, because watching it last night, there's like that lawyer character, and basically the only thing stopping them from making this happen is just like the approval of like 2 or 3 scientists, which is absolutely ridiculous because you have this dinosaur island, which is like obviously a bad idea, and no one thinks it's bad, and they're like, oh, we'll just need some like 2 guys, maybe a third.
we'll get like 3 guys to say if it's good, and they all disagree. They all say this is a terrible idea. Everyone not
Yeah.
associated with the project thinks it's a terrible idea.
Right.
There's even a line in the movie, Richard Attenborough is like, the only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he has an interest in like the profit of the
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
park.
He just wants
We
the
can sell-
money.
We can sell T-shirts and all that.
Yeah. So like
If they can capture that to me is what made at least the setup before all the dinosaurs show up. That's what made it so interesting. It's the surrealness of the entire like world
Of
that
the
they were
idea,
building. So if they can do that again,
based
That'd
on
be
what
cool.
I've seen, that's not going to happen.
yeah,
I
didn't
agree.
think it
I don't
was.
think it's going to happen
Yeah.
either.
Which is what I think that's what part makes the original movie good. Like, I don't think there's going to be any like fish out of water characters. Like, Chris Pratt's character seems like he's like the game warden of the park.
Something
So,
like
or
that.
he
He's
works
he's
there.
some kind of scientist.
He works there.
That's all I
He
know.
knows about the dinosaurs, and the park is well established. It's not a secret. It's open. Everyone's going there.
Yeah.
So there's no one is unfamiliar with the idea or sort of unfamiliar with
Well,
dinosaurs.
Yeah, there are a lot of
those
people in it.
kids.
No one thinks it's a bad idea because it's working.
Those kids might
Well,
be
that
like
could be-
a big deal, Like we don't
Yeah.
know how big of a role those kids are going to play. Obviously, they got to play something because you see like their parents saying goodbye to them,
Yeah.
and then there's more shots.
Like
you
they're
know.
going to Hogwarts or something.
Yeah,
See, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because, like, in each of the Jurassic Park movies, there's always a kid. There's like they have to shoehorn in kids into all the movies because they had the 2 kid characters in the first movie,
right.
which worked because like it gave it for like the character of Dr. Grant. It worked because like they established
Right, so-
like he doesn't like kids, and then he learns to like the kids because they're in like the survival situation.
Baby smell.
Yeah, exactly. So like that worked, and I think like kid actors are annoying in general. I feel.
Yeah.
So like you should minimize them as much as possible.
I did like in the first one that they made them like super annoying little kids.
Yeah, to prove the point of, but you you learn to like them as Dr. Grant does.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn to like feel sympathetic towards them.
Right.
And you don't want them to die.
Right.
Except
like
the-
when they're alone
You're
with the
scared,
raptors
yeah.
in the kitchen. Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Great
really
TV shows.
like heartbending.
But
scene.
yeah, awesome scene.
Because they're like the least capable of taking care of themselves.
Right.
In that sort of situation. Not that anyone's really capable,
Yeah.
but
I don't know
especially
how to hide from a velociraptor.
like you bang the spoon on the
Yeah,
floor.
bang the spoon and
Yeah.
fake
I would be
that you can't shut
the
the
first
fridge.
one.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, did she intentionally hide that thing?
I
to
don't-
trick it, or
I don't
was that
know.
just pure luck?
I
don't know.
like always wonder that. And then they
Yeah.
go, He
was
slips in the ice.
Remember
thing.
when the girl's like she's trying to like close herself in the cabinet, and the
The
Velociraptor
raptor's
sees
like,
her
I
reflection.
fucking got you.
Yeah, and he like runs at the reflection.
Was she doing the reflection thing on purpose?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think like that's. The,
I think she was just like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
Like,
And it was also a trick to like the audience, like,
Yeah.
oh, you
Yeah,
think you
well,
got
it was
her,
an
but-
audience
oh,
trick.
okay, never mind.
yeah. So yeah, I guess that's mystery solved.
I think the best aspect of Jurassic Park, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, is that movie came out in like 93? 93. And the CG and like the dinosaurs in that movie look better than
Anything today.
certainly look better than Smaug.
And everything in the Hobbit basically looks
Yeah.
terrible.
Well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But Spielberg had a way of like he used animatronics whenever it was possible, and then when he had to use like a full scale CG, it was like the T-Rex scene of Jurassic Park to me is like the greatest shot scene in movie history. It's really dark and it's rainy, so he knows that the CG doesn't look great in '93, so he shoots it in the dark where it's rainy, so you get less detail, but you still see a full-scale T-Rex. And I hope that in this movie, the trailer, I'm not sure, shows a lot of light and stuff, but I hope like they go back to using a lot of animatronics and doing CG minimally, but if you have to, like getting good lighting.
Who's directing this movie?
His name
Colin
is
Trevorrow.
Colin Trevorrow, and the only movie he has on his belt before this was a movie called Safety Not Guaranteed,
Which is not an action movie
not
at all.
at all. It's like a dramedy,
Oh, okay.
sort of.
So I mean, we've talked about directors before who really don't have anything under their belt, but turn out to be good. But so it's like you can't say it's going to be good or bad. We just don't know enough to say whether he's capable or not.
Yeah, but he does know how to direct actors who are normally used to doing comedies in situations that are not funny.
Yeah.
Who was in Safety Not Guaranteed?
Mark
Duplass,
Aubrey Plaza,
Jake Johnson,
who some guy from the league. I don't know.
Mark Duplass.
That's his name. Okay.
Yeah. So they were like pretty deadpan. It's a deadpan movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember it that much, but I watched it.
I literally only watched it because I heard this guy was directing the new Jurassic Park, and I was like, I gotta check this guy out.
Gotta do some research to see how much this is gonna not suck or suck.
But yeah, this movie stars Chris Pratt, someone who's not totally used to doing drama. Or, in the past few years, he has done a lot of drama, not as the most serious character in the movie, but
his character seems serious.
Far,
this is like the
pretty
most serious
Yeah.
character, definitely, he's ever played.
Him being in it makes me excited, not because, like, I love Chris Pratt. I mean, I do, I like him.
Yeah.
But
he's fine, yeah.
I think that he's, like, on a roll right now, and I think, like, I don't think his agent or him would, like, pick a movie that, like, was possibly could be pretty good.
It could, like, ruin his momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, if you think of it that way,
When
then,
I think of it that way.
Well,
and Bryce Dallas Howard is, she's a good actress.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I don't think that this movie's going to do financially well because it's a Jurassic Park movie.
Well, yeah.
It's a pretty safe bet. Like
It'll
whether
be fine.
how good or bad it is, it's going to be financially successful. And that's sort of the blessing and the curse. It's because they know they can do it, but they also might not have the most incentive to like make it good. It's like regardless of how good or bad it is, people are going to go see it. So
It's true.
I could probably put minimal effort into it.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll go see it too. That's the thing. We're all hooked because we've seen Jurassic Park and we like it. So that's the problem.
Right.
You know?
Spielberg is an executive producer on it, I think.
Yeah, but
So
I don't know
that's
how much
his
influence
blessing.
he's going to have.
Right, I know. Like I said, I don't know how much influence, but at least it has like his blessing,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
I see. My prediction is they're not really going to use animatronics. I can already probably tell you that right now.
Yeah,
Because
the
that's
trailer kind of makes it seem like, especially the scene where it's like they pull the shark out,
Yeah.
and then you see giant lapras monster thing like eat your great white shark.
Megalodon versus Crocosaur.
Yeah,
whatever.
whatever, whatever it is, just eat the great white shark, and they're like, ah! Like I wouldn't be comfortable being 100 feet away from.
I wouldn't be able.
I think all those people, like everyone in the audience was in the splash zone.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be comfortable with that existing at all.
Yeah, no.
Like, not even that I'm close to it, but that it exists.
That it exists.
Like, how do they keep that thing from
Yeah,
not from swimming
you
away?
know, like showing that scene in the trailer, like that thing is gonna have some sort of impact in the movie. But how?
Yeah.
Like the only way that thing can have an impact in the movie is if it's like Sci-Fi Picture original Megalodon versus Sam Neill.
It's gonna jump up and eat something else in another scenario in the movie. It's gonna do the same thing. It's like a setup, and then like later on, like something's gonna be dangling, and then like it's gonna come up and eat it. Or
It's like some security guard who's a douche, and then it'll just happen to be tongues on a wire, what, and then like they're getting whatever, something stupid.
They'll have like the raptor guy's twin brother come back, and he's gonna look exactly the same, but like old guy, and he's gonna be like, I'm gonna get the megalodon.
Oh
and then,
man, do we think there's gonna be Wayne Newton, Wayne Knight, Newman, yeah, Wayne Newton. Newman. His twin brother is gonna be like, oh, this almost worked the first time, and he's gonna steal all the stuff, and something's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the same exact thing again.
Yeah,
that's what we're hoping anyway.
Can he just be in the movie?
just shoehorn in
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts.
All these people died. Every single one of them.
Yeah,
died.
all of the people that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Were eaten.
Yeah. So
pretty aggressively.
On screen. No.
The raptor guy, his death when I was a kid, that was pretty scary. Like, they do the whole, like, raptor trick thing. Yeah. And he's supposed to be the raptor specialist, and he didn't see it coming. He's like, oh, clever girl. And then, like, the next shot is, like, I mean, it's, like, shaky, and there's bushes in front of him. But it's basically a raptor gnawing on his face for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's pretty creepy.
Well, I think people are, like, generally scared of raptors. Like, raptors are a scary thing.
They
so
are
like,
scary.
And
the Newman is killed by the Dilophosaurus thing.
Yeah.
Which
they
they
spit on his
which they never have again in the movie.
Yeah, which
that's
they
only in
should,
that
'cause
first
it's
movie.
pretty badass.
Yeah. Like I feel like with the second
how
movie,
many times could you do the same thing? Oh, there's a...
with every movie they do the same thing basically. I mean,
that's like
I
something
guess.
every Jurassic Park movie always like has to put in like a new dinosaur.
Yeah.
You know, like the second one had the little chicken things.
Yeah.
What are they called?
I don't know.
Who the hell knows?
But those aren't like significant. Like
no, they're not.
Like basically
significant.
you have.
But then the third movie had the Spinosaurus.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because with the second movie they had 2 T-Rexes. So like we don't just have one, we got 2.
Yeah.
And a baby T-Rex. We got 3
we got
T-Rex.
baby and we got mother and dad and then like
Yeah. So like 2.5 dinosaurs, and then you have velociraptors thrown in there for no reason, really. They're thrown
there's
in,
a reason.
I mean, because
The tall grass scene in the second
It's
movie
iconic, yeah.
is the best part of that
Yeah.
movie. When that guy's like, "Don't go into the grass," and then
yeah. But I mean, in terms of like the plot, they're just like an extra obstruction. Like the whole plot is arranged around the T-Rexes and the family
Right.
of T-Rexes. So they're really the main thing.
Mhm.
Whereas in the first movie, the Velociraptors, even though the T-Rex is prominently featured, they're the real antagonists. They're the
Yeah.
real threat.
Yes,
Is the Velociraptors. So it's sort of a reversal.
Uh-huh.
But you have the same basic components, Velociraptors and T-Rex.
Right.
But then they add the Spinosaur in the third movie, which is basically a bigger T-Rex.
It's just like, oh, it's bigger, it's got a sail, and his arms aren't useless.
Yeah, and he can go into the water. So like added all these extra things that it could do that T-Rex didn't.
Yeah.
But basically it was the same sort of idea. So it wasn't like fundamentally different, but it was something new.
Mhm. So now we're gonna have this hybrid thing.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like even so it's going to be like Spinosaur, but has even bigger fin. It could fly now, and like like
it could probably fly. It's gonna go into the water, kill the megalodon thing, just to prove its badassery. And
yeah. Have you ever seen Tremors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the sequels to Tremors?
I've seen like one sequel to
Yeah,
Tremors.
'cause, like,
I don't remember which one.
because Tremors
It was probably
is-
like Tremors 4. I got
The Old West version.
Old West.
There
hunting
is
for-
Tremors 4, Old West version.
Old West.
No, that's a
It's Back to
movie.
the Future.
No, that's a movie. I'm not shitting
so
you.
bad.
It's a real thing. Anyway, like Tremors is like a fine movie. I like it, and it has a neat concept where you got these like underground monsters. So like the ground, it's like
Yeah.
it's like the floor is lava. The movie,
Right, like
you're like
right, you're like a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
yeah, exactly. So, but then like when the sequel came out, they're like, well, we gotta do something new. So then they had like the Tremors, like the slug things. They would like evolve into like on the ground monsters. It was just like any other monster movie where you have like things running around trying to kill you. And then for the third movie, those same things learned how to fly. So then you had flying versions of the escalation. It's like the idea that made it cool originally, they kept bumping it up to the point where it was just dumb.
Right.
And I have a feeling that that's going to happen with this hybrid. That it's just going to be stupid. Like no one's going to really be scared of it, or I mean, probably be scared of it, but like it's just going to escalate to the point of sort of nonsense. And we talked about before. There's only one leap of faith that you make with Jurassic Park, is that they clone dinosaurs. I mean, once you accept that, everything else kind of logically follows. That like this is a bad idea. We shouldn't do this. They escape. They start eating people. Everything else, you know, assuming that dinosaurs.
Jeff Goldblum's gonna like pop out somewhere and be like, nature, will find,
He's gonna be on like Skype call. It's like Mr. Goldblum. I mean, whatever your name was in the movie.
Ian Malcolm.
Yeah. The park is gone to shit. It's like, well, of course it did. Didn't you read my book about how the park went to shit the first time?
Mr. Grant's book.
Yeah.
Dr. Grant. Excuse me.
Yeah. Come on, he's a doctor.
He's
Give him that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
In the third movie, they call him the Dinosaur Man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, it's true.
But
see the movie.
I have a feeling that that's what's gonna happen. It's sort of gonna be. You got like not only are the dinosaurs and the park. I think that's enough of an idea. I like that idea where like this is a working Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And it gives it something new. But the fact that they're also throwing this idea of like a hybrid special dinosaur.
Well, I guess they
like,
gotta set up. Oh, it works, but then they need something to throw it off. And I guess like this hybrid's gonna throw it off.
Yeah.
Essentially, but the thing that threw it off in the first place was the storm and
The
sabotage.
Storm and Newman.
Yeah. So like very human, natural thing.
It's true. He like sets.
No, I know. I watched the movie.
Yeah.
So I like how we just call him Newman, even though
I'm just calling him Newman.
Yeah, whatever. And
That's how he's known forever.
Yeah. So I guess maybe this is playing with the idea that like they've gone too far. Has science gone too far?
Yeah.
They went too far the first time.
Yeah, but now they went even farther because like they got it working. It's like they did the impossible. They got Jurassic Park to work, and not everyone's dying. Shut up. And then it's like, well, we got this isn't working, so let's do the next worst idea that we can think of is make a hybrid dinosaur that's even bigger and better than everything else. That can't go wrong, right?
Well, if we did one thing right.
Yeah, then we are infallible now, and we could just do whatever we want, and nothing will backfire. So I can understand the escalation factor, and they have to do something new, but it's risky.
Yes.
I think it could backfire.
We
don't know.
The one thing I'm excited for that's not dinosaur related is, and this movie has Chris Pratt and Jake Johnson in it, and the two of them play the dumbest people ever on their respective television shows, and I just want to see what those people do in this situation.
Yeah. Just strict actor interaction.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not dumb people in real life. That'd be horrible. It's like, I'm just playing myself forever.
I'm just stupid.
Chris Pratt, you're an idiot. He's like, okay, go do the movie, pay me the money.
I'm a millionaire.
Really there.
But it'll just be funny to see them trying to save people.
Children.
Yeah, children.
Okay. Well, I think that's good. I think we've covered everything.
Bye, everyone. Come back next week.
You should comment on what you think about the things we
fuck
said.
you.